Well, let's get up to date with all the sport. Here's Brandon.
It's time now for all today's sports news. He's been working very hard today. Here's Brandon.
Good evening to you. James McPake has been sacked as manager of Dundee. Good evening to you. Aberdeen interim manager Barry Robson admits he was surprised to see Stephen Glass sacked as Pittodrie boss after just 11 months in the job. Arbroath manager Dick Campbell admits it would be a miracle if the part-time club were to win promotion to the Premiership. Yes, well, good evening from Broad Hill, overlooking a floodlit Pittodrie stadium ahead of a massive game tonight underneath the lights. Good evening to you. Well, less than 24 hours after sacking their manager, Dundee have a new one in the dugout. Good evening. Gregor Townsend has dismissed claims from his England counterpart, Eddie Jones, that Scotland are red-hot favourites for Saturday's Calcutta Cup clash at Murrayfield. There's no time to celebrate really because she's at another event come Sunday. And as you said, this is the home of where it all started for her. This is Aberdeen's dry slope. There's some youngsters practising at the moment and they told me earlier that there's no one better to look up to as a role model than one of their own. Well, elsewhere in managerial news, and Aberdeen interim head coach Barry Robson insists his players know a critical lens will be on them when they face Motherwell again on Saturday. Well, to rugby now, and Gregor Townsend believes Scotland are mentally ready to deal with the hostile atmosphere in Cardiff when they face Wales in the Six Nations. Looking forward to it now. New Dundee United midfielder Kevin McDonald admits he feared he'd never play football again following a kidney transplant. The 33-year-old, who began his career at city rivals Dundee, says support from around the world has helped him bounce back less than a year after life-saving surgery. He's been speaking to Stephanie Daly. Well, finally to the Winter Olympics, and Team GB are through to the semi-finals of the men's curling following a hard-fought victory over Sweden. Meanwhile, Dundee figure skater Natasha Mackay and Aberdeen freestyle skier Kirsty Muir were also in action in China. Here's Stephanie Daly. It came down to the last stone in what was a nervy affair. They now face Sweden in the final on Saturday. Ivana Holland reports. And finally from me tonight, the Scottish men's international pool team are off to Ireland tonight ahead of the European Pool Championships, which get underway tomorrow. The squad have no less than 4 players from the northeast of Scotland, and I caught up with them at one of their training sessions ahead of the tournament. Fantastic. Fingers crossed for both teams this weekend. Well, Aberdeen are close to securing Jim Goodwin. And just before I go tonight, Kirsty Muir is through to the ski slopestyle final. The 17-year-old qualified in 6th place. Great bunch of lads. We wish them the best of luck. Hope they've booked a spare seat for the trophy on the way home. That's all from me. Chris will be back here for your Friday sport. Well, that's all from me this evening, live from Pittodrie as Barry Robson takes interim charge of the Dons. It's a big game here for both sides. If you're coming along tonight, bring your big jacket. It's cold.
Get your fill of the action. STV Sport.